we're all going to be part of the same mentality, whether we like it or not. That's where this is going. It's where it's
gone before that.
No, but it's where it's
defeated, though, man.
No, it's not. It's not.
It is defeated.
It's not because
I'm too smart for people to be like me.
It's not, though. Literally, individuality and this whole thing about we have to fight them. It really is. We're coming out of being apes. It's the way we think.
Yeah.
We don't do anything. Can you picture fucking people that we think or beings that travel to this planet if they exist? Do you really think they're fucking fighting over property taxes on what planet they're on?
Wouldn't that be hysterical?
You go so far beyond
interstellar
that.
travel and they're pissed. I think they probably are.
You think they are?
I think wherever
there's an interstellar travel tax? You motherfucker! I can't go.
I guarantee there is.
Because we are made up of the same shit
in the
that
universe.
everybody's made up of. And just because you got a big head and black eyes and skinny weird arms, them motherfuckers is arguing
deal with the same shit
over cable.
Can you because when you look from the days people bashed each other over the head and literally just fucking hid from a lion. If you would have told them, you'll be quietly texting people and communicating silently. That would have seemed like that will never fucking happen.
Cave your head in with a rock.
Exactly, and then eat your phone. You don't know what it is.
Well, but I think there's a human nature that will stop what you think.
Human nature can be overcome. It's all chemicals.
It's like Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
it's
chemicals.
almost like Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. He's like,
the chaos theory.
This is amazing, but something's
gonna fuck up here.
It's not gonna happen. It's just nature is gonna do some shit.
Well,
it's going to do something. To stop
nature can absolutely be controlled. It can absolutely be fucking manipulated and have you. Once you're beyond a certain point, then nature is fairly powerless over you. Once you,
it always
absolutely
finds
think so.
It's like squeezing fucking clay in your hand. It's going to come out your fingers.
Yeah, you can't.
It's all chemical reactions. It's all chemical.
But it changes. The chemistry changes. You fucking, it's all chemistry. But maybe these two chemicals ain't mixed yet, and you don't know what's going to happen. When you fuck with nature and beings and even humanity or the animal world, plants, whatever the fuck you fuck with, something happens, adapts, evolves, and changes to shove it back in your fucking face or to work. One or the other, but it's going to change.
And that big lighter that we have in the sky that everybody's always trying to fucking control, it's the basis of our life.
Yeah.
And I just look at some people don't believe in God. The fact that the sun exists and we exist, that's God to me. And it's very godlike. It's very where you go, hey man, look, Irene could have destroyed whatever, or Katrina did. We can't control. Nature will do something to make us stop thinking that we're
all fucking mighty.
Nature will always be able to kill people, but even the sun eventually expanding, we're going to be able to leave this planet and just colonize other places.
You think?
Even absolutely.
You're just saying that based on what? How you feel?
No, on the fact that that's what Kaku says and a lot of theoretical physicists
That's where technology's going.
And there's already look where we've come in 200 years.
Give me the principles on how we're going to travel.
Okay. From what I know, I'm not a scientist, obviously. We eventually
theories.
We eventually learn what wormholes are and how to travel through interstellar space and how to colonize things in space. And look at how far we've come in 200 years of industrial technology, or 250 years. Multiply that by 500 more years or 1,000 more years.
But what have we
where we're going to be
done,
technologically.
We've sent something in space that just goes.
We know subatomic particles exist. We fucking from bashing each other over the head, we are now fucking fighting cancer. We understand all these things that we didn't understand a couple hundred years ago.
I'm waiting for the shit from The Fly.
A couple hundred years ago.
That's what
no shit.
To zip us over somewhere.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Absolutely will happen.
It'll absolutely happen.
Absolutely.
We can't wrap our brains around it right now, but it's gonna happen.
Of course we will.
Of course we will.
It's just
I'm
a
with
matter
Jimmy
of
on that.
fucking passing the speed of light.
I can see us colonizing like Mars, somewhere
I think
close.
We'll be just like the dinosaurs. I think dinosaurs
there you
fucking
go.
watch television.
And they lived a lot longer than we did.
Stephen Hawking theorized black holes. He knew what they were. They said he was crazy. He's a fucking idiot. And now they find evidence of black holes. It's like they can kind of see this stuff a little bit down the road. This is 200 years in. We're fucking 250, 300 years into technology.
So another 200 years is what you think?
It multiplies faster and faster and faster and faster.
I don't think we're going to have jets in cars.
No, I don't either.
I don't think we're going to have jets in
People aren't
cars.
responsible enough.
Look at computers. They say now that on your phone, basically we have computers that we carry that are more powerful than what NASA used to send the fucking astronauts to the moon.
True that.
That's 30 years.
That's a toaster.
That's 30 fucking years.
So what do you think we're going to do? Other than, technology, I think has really what technology has given us is basically communication.
Right.
It's not now. I don't think it's really upped our ability space wise. I don't think the shuttle is any more amazing than the fucking Apollo 18.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've really developed off this planet. I think we developed on it. I think we've learned how to genetically modify shit and experiment on rats and do certain things and go, and medicines and everything else. But I don't think that we are going to do anything that's going to break.
We have a hard time leaving the planet.
We've only been to the moon, supposedly.
A couple of times,
once.
You're not a supposed guy, are you?
More than once. You've been there like 10 times.
I never was until I started thinking, why haven't we been there again?
We went there 6 times.
It seems like it would be easier.
Here's how you travel. I'll answer your question.
Would be easier now.
You talk about these printers they have that can now print genetic material. So eventually, once we learn how to navigate wormholes and all that stuff, and now they're saying they can send neutrinos fucking faster than the speed of light, you start sending. Once they break down your DNA, and a computer can actually take you apart and put you together DNA-wise and print you out on a fucking printer, and once your entire mentality, like Kurzweil talks about, is on a computer, which is going to happen because it's all just chemical shit.
And they print your soul too.
The soul is a religious theory.
No. They print out what makes you
right. It's all chemicals. It's all particles. It's all subatomic particles. All of it. And the personality, things we define as personalities, are all chemically explainable somehow. We can't explain it yet, but once they figure that out, 500 years from now, you'll be uploaded on a computer. And I believe Kurzweil when he said that.
That's very unspiritual of you.
Of course it is, but it's the truth.
I can't imagine that
I don't know if it's
print
the
out
truth.
who you are.
It is weird.
Sure they can.
I can't figure. I understand the whole chemistry behind humanity. Believe me, but there is that fucking spark that makes you.
But what is that spark?
I don't know. That's just it. It might just be like you say, a bunch
Just
of fucking
DNA,
little glands going squish.
Of course it is.
Squish. Do a little
Squish,
more.
squish,
We put a little
squish.
more of this. It's like a cake, you know. You give everyone the same ingredients. They put a little more in this one. It's going to taste a little different.
They'll figure that out eventually.
Exactly.
I
don't
totally
know.
believe that.
I there's got to be something that is completely inexplicable at this point that makes you
Sure.
you and me me.
Absolutely. There's
yeah.
subatomic things that go on that we can't explain, but I hate to break, but it literally.
But you think everything that could
can be duplicated. Of course.
would spit out an exact Jimmy
An
Norton.
exact Jimmy Norton. Emotions can be replicated. Emotions can be created. Look, a big boom happens. Every single living creature goes, "Ah!" We all look. We're not that different. We're all from the same. It's the same chemical thing that happens to fucking everybody.
Not Clooney in an action movie.
Well, that's different,
That shit
though.
blows up.
He
That
goes
shit blows up
beyond.
behind him, and he still just keeps walking toward the car.
Can I ask
Beautiful.
Anthony something? There's a couple things in there. Why aren't we on the moon just hanging out at this point?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Because that's the thing.
But why aren't we?
Where I did the quote-unquote thing. I'm not a big.
You don't
the
think we
moon
landed on the
landing was
moon?
Fake, but it's strange.
I know.
that we're not hanging out
I
on
would
the moon.
I would guarantee we went there, but we went. The space program went in a whole nother direction. The funding stopped.
Right.
We were going for a more low orbital launching platform for Mars missions. That's what the whole space station's up there for. Changed our whole mission. So the moon, we've been there, looked at some rocks. They're still studying shit that we brought back.
There's nothing to get from the
What
moon.
is with Mars?
People are fascinated with
It's
it.
the near planet.
I'm thinking we can make what I like to call a shake and bake planet out
It's
of
just
it.
because it's the next step.
We've never been
You
to
know,
another
the company,
planet.
we
Yeah.
manufacture those.
But why don't we have a moon
Aliens.
station in?
What?
It just
we
isn't
don't
profitable?
need one. Why would we need a moon station?
All right, it would
But
be
they're
just
thinking
cool.
they are thinking about it as a launching base for a Mars mission.
Right.
But there's no reason to have people living on the moon. We have a space station.
But that would just be so cool.
Yeah, but they don't do things
And we
because
can-
it's cool.
and we can monetize that
They
shit.
don't do stuff
It
because
seems
it's cool.
like
If you
that-
could go to the moon and hang out for a weekend,
What, as tourism?
It seems
But
like
I'm just
that-
Get your
saying,
ass
why
to
not?
Mars.
It
Get
seems
your ass to
like
Mars.
that aluminum foil thing
Yeah.
would have had trouble getting off the moon. It
Yeah.
seems like we could have took the shuttle and just
Went to the moon?
and just went there.
Yeah, the
and
shuttle
landed
wasn't made for that shit.
And the shuttle, and that's been our only elevation is the shuttle.
All the
since
shuttle is made for
1970
is to
something.
make a truck to take shit up to the space station, deliver it, and come back. That is it, to make that fucking space station. And that was the whole mission. And now that the space station's built, now they want to take materials up. They want to start building a platform to launch stuff to Mars. And then when you get enough equipment on Mars, put people there on Mars.
So their eyes can get big when there's no air?
Three titted fucking chicks and hot little midgets.
For what?
For what? Because deep down, we know that sun is not going to be there forever, so we're just trying to figure it out.
Well, it'll be there.
Just life in general is trying to figure it out. So deep down,
I think if you look at some type of...
well, as far as we're concerned.
If there's a way, and they did touch on this in movies, like Total Recall and Aliens.
Sunshine.
The making a planet inhabitable from something that is just uninhabitable.
They say they found a big Earth too. They call it like
Super Earth or
Super
whatever.
Earth or
Super Earth.
And
but they need something close. See, we need something close at this point. If there's a way to go to Mars and set up a base on Mars that can be colonized and turn the carbon dioxide atmosphere into an oxygen atmosphere using, plants breathing carbon dioxide. You put some plants there and they spit out oxygen. So, you start slowly in a dome.
Let's just go dome.
That'll take
a long fucking time.
Not if Discovery Channel things about how plants became over zillions and billions of years.
A long fucking time.
But if we can make them and do what they took millions of years to do through evolution, if we figure out how to do that on a computer, you can do it very quickly.
Dude, I think once we start, we
can grow hands now. We can grow skin. How long did it take you to grow your adult hand? Now, the way they can do it on a fucking printer, they can do it almost immediately.
Wish Boss was here. Do a nice hand joke.
5 minutes. How long did it take you to grow that reptilian thing?
I just think the closer we think we get to God, the closer we get to death. Because it's just like, I think that we are, because we think we're the shit, because we think. Because we have an idea of what's good and bad or what's right and wrong. But it's like, like you go into the animal thing, lions ain't thinking about that. They living with us, and lions are just going, hey, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. It's like when I watch, those specials and I see a lion kill a baby something, and you go, that piece of shit lion, I want to just shoot him. He's not. There's no consequence.
He's not thinking that shit.
We think we're something, humans, because we think we think.
You don't think that big water buffalo looking at the baby one getting all ripped apart, he just gave birth to it, is sitting there going, oh, man.
It's sad.
It looks all sad. Doesn't it look sad? It's like, oh, man.
It's motherly, but the lion is not killing it based on something personal or sport or anything. We have emotions that make us think that we're elevated some sort of way. But I think that we are just like dinosaurs. At some point, something's going to happen, and then Thundar the Barbarian motherfuckers are going to be riding around, and then fucking we're going to be the time-traveling people that live under the ground, and then it's going to be another 4 billion years, it'll be nothing here, then another 5 billion, it'll be something here, then the sun goes out. But it'll be something here that can live
when the sun is not
goes
there.
Out.
Right.
We are living at God's time. If you don't believe in God, I'm saying God, but I mean nature, man. We're here.
Whatever your definition of God is.
I like the idea of what you said with the sun, and you know what? You can't even look at the sun.
You can't.
With the naked eye. If that isn't a fucking spiritual thing, it gives you life. It gives everything on this planet life. But
don't look
you
at
can't
it.
even look at it.
Put on sunglasses. Look right at the fucking thing. Fuck it. Fuck that big ball of dumb gas. Fuck it, its ass. It's going to eat the earth in 4 billion years or whatever, and then we're gone.
I love Jimmy's take.
The sun's a big hunk of shit, and it's an average star. The sun is the 5-inch dicks of stars.
You think there's shit living on these planets?
God.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because it may not
just something that we don't give a fuck about.
It's the principles of life. It's just there's another life.
We got
Kevin will be in soon. Yeah, we got Dr. Kaku.
Yeah,
on the line.
Kaku is on the line.
Sorry to make you wait there, sir. You're a very busy guy today with this info that came out overnight, huh?
Yeah, very busy. I was just on Good Morning America this morning.
Yeah.
And,
you braggart.
Hey,
that's good. About satellites falling from the sky.
Yes.
Even Einstein's theory might be wrong.
Oh, we forgot about the satellite. Where is that going to fall about?
Well,
what area of the world?
The is that it's going to fall between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, probably in the Pacific or probably near Chile. But
It's cold, right?
forecasting these
I hope they don't
events
take
is
out the
black
Eddie
magic.
Vedder guy.
No.
Hi,
Yes.
hi,
Terrific.
Russian roulette.
Hi, Dr. Kaku. It's Jim Norton.
Right, hi?
And I wanted to say, did you? I had long ago theorized, and I remember saying that the neutrinos would probably travel faster than the speed of light. Are you surprised to hear that? Do you think there's a flaw in their math?
Well, I think there's a flaw in their experiment. However, they say that they've checked it over and over again that neutrinos fired from Switzerland to Italy, 450 miles away, arrived 60 billionths of a second faster than expected.
Well, maybe it was just windy or something.
No, I don't think so.
No?
This result has to be looked at very carefully because Einstein's theory is the bedrock, the foundation of all of modern science. This phone call, GPS, atomic bombs, lasers, black holes, expanding universes, all of it depends on Einstein's theory. So if Einstein is wrong, oh my God.
But isn't it possible that he got that maybe he just scratched the surface, and maybe there's 300 more layers that he missed just because there's no way we could know it without computer help?
Well, we think there is a layer below Einstein's theory. However, that layer is very exotic. That layer opens up only at the instant of the Big Bang and the center of a black hole. However, in Italy, we don't expect to see violations of Einstein's theory with the neutrino beam, and that's why a lot of physicists are having a heart attack right now, contemplating the fact that every single physics textbook, every single experiment has to be revised if this experiment holds up.
Wow.
Well, maybe, because I used to joke about, I bowl like a bunch of neutrinos. Everybody would laugh.
I don't think they would. I don't think they'd laugh. Now, why would this? How would this change anything? To tell you the truth, life still goes on. We still
Sure.
We still wake up in the morning. I mean,
Thank you.
And what's a split second, really?
I'm
if you
still
think
finished
about
in
it?
30 seconds.
Look at the internet. Look at communication satellites. All of it depends on electronics, which in turn depends on relativity theory.
Sure.
So if relativity is totally wrong, this phone conversation is going to go poof.
wait.
Einstein was a hack, from what I understand.
Really?
Yeah.
No, but
was a
wouldn't
drunk.
that
His hair was all puffy.
just the fact that our GPS does
close
work
there.
and all this does in fact work, doesn't that say that nothing will change because it would have changed?
That's why I suspect that they made a mistake.
Ah, see?
Go.
Yeah, years ago, in the 1960s, there was even more sensational news that the speed of light rose in daytime and fell at nighttime, according to one physics experiment. So people said that's a hard thing to believe, that the speed of light could rise and fall with the day. Then it turns out that the experimental apparatus was outdoors and was sensitive to temperature of outdoors, and that's why they were getting the speed of light varying between morning and night.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Dr. Kaku, this is Jim Norton. Doesn't it strike you as odd, though, that as much as we learned that Einstein would have pegged the main theory this kind of soon after industrial technology began, doesn't it seem kind of odd that he would have gotten it right this early in the game for us as a species who's possibly going to travel in space someday or live in space?
That's true. It would seem like the odds would be.
Looking at it historically, we realize that Einstein was ahead of his time. His special theory
Hack.
of relativity beat out his competitors, but the general theory, I think, was maybe 50 years ahead of its time. Even today, we're shocked at how advanced it is, given
Right.
the fact that it was proposed in 1915.
Probably because he was.
Is
an alien.
Isaac Newton and what's the other dude? Isaac Newton is in
Bill Tetley?
Bill Tetley and Copernicus. Are they hacks in your profession at this point? Are they antiquated, or is Isaac Newton still a pretty cool dude?
If you're an Apple salesman.
Inside the solar system at low velocities, we still use Newton's laws of motion to shoot space satellites to Saturn and Jupiter. We don't use Einstein's theory until we go near the speed of light. However, lasers, GPS, the internet, all of that use things near the speed of light. And then Einstein's theory, not Newton's theory, is used in high-tech work. So all the high-tech wizardry that we see around us with iPods and iPads and internet and microwave towers, all of that comes from Einstein.
So here's a question, Dr. Kaku. Jim was saying something earlier that I disagree with. That they can recreate you. Like, do you think one day they'll be able to recreate who you are? I know you don't have a soul, but it's like, or not that you don't have a soul, but you don't believe in God, whatever. But they can actually create you, and you actually go, oh shit, I'm still here as me, as opposed to a clone that looks like you DNA wise, but doesn't have your same essence or whatever you would call it.
Well, this is actually a subject of debate among physicists, because teleportation, we've actually attained it at the atomic level. And one day, if we teleport Captain Kirk, then who is this imposter over there who claims to be Captain Kirk, who sells Priceline, and has all the personality quirks of Captain Kirk?
Well, is it possible, this is Jim Norton again, is it possible that if you learn, now Ray Kurzweil talks about, and I'm not saying he's the be-all, end-all, but loading ourselves eventually onto computers, and your personality and who you are will be on a computer. Is it possible that if that's how simple it is, and if everything is just a chemical reaction that is eventually figured out by computers, and there is no difference between the uploaded version of me, essence-wise, and the me that's talking to you right now, that you could technically live in two places at one time, just like, say, a 60 billionth of a second apart?
Yeah, and if we have quantum teleportation and we're able to create a copy of you atom for atom, then in principle there might be more than one copy of you, and it's within the laws of physics. I'm not saying that it's possible.
So if they clone you, they would it's theoretically there could be a clone of Dr. Kaku who is also a physicist.
Yeah, you can't rule it out. There's no law of physics preventing that, put it that way.
But who also thinks like you, too.
100 years from attaining that kind of capability.
100 years.
But what about an exact parallel thinking between the two? Because it's such an accurate representation of the other that whatever chemical reaction makes thought and your thought process and your own soul, can there be exact duplicate thinking and reasoning?
Well, that's beyond our capability, and I think maybe for 100 years that's going to be beyond our capability.
100 years, that's nothing. A little more than that.
I have a tape recorder, and the tape recorder sounds like you. The tape recorder has all the mannerisms of you. It does not mean it is you.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's going to take, many, many decades before we can get a tape recorder to mimic your personality, to be spontaneous, to
be hilarious. Right.
But again, you're
have
talking
your
100 years ago, 100 years from now, maybe. You're not saying it's an impossibility. You're saying we're probably 100 years out from that type of thing with technology.
Advancing.
It's advancing as quickly and as it is.
So once
no law of physics preventing it.
Once that's accomplished, then that is immortality.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but who wants to live inside a tape recorder? Who wants to live inside?
No.
You won't be in a tape recorder.
The cloning, the actual making of another you.
Yeah, it's conceivable. You can't rule it out.
So that will be now. You will now be
immortal.
But
your body is replaceable.
Would you have all the memories that you had in your first body into that second body, so you can continue being?
Why not? Just program it into
it's
your
all
new
chemical
body.
stuff. We just don't know how it works yet. But once we figure out chemically what is a memory, what is that visual image that becomes a memory in your mind, how does your mind relate something and remember it and see it?
That could be
be fucking easy. It's like dittos.
This is the thing. The Big Bang Theory. Oh, I'm sorry, Dr.
What's that, Dr. Kaku?
If you could replace every neuron in your brain with a transistor, and have a duplicate brain made out of transistors with exactly the same architecture as your own brain, then you would, in principle, have the same responses. That is, same personality.
Right.
You would have the same wishes, goals, instincts.
This is
neuron. It fires the same.
This is Jim Norton again. How are you?
Hi.
Just curiosity. This is an odd thing. Now, you think that our universe may have started coming out of the ass end of a black hole. Is that correct? Is that a possibility?
There is a possibility that maybe we are a white hole.
Oh, we should tell him about the video I saw.
Doesn't it sound odd, though, that we just doesn't the whole thing we come from like this little atom seem a little? Is it possible that we kind of were a condensed planet or something from another universe? And you know how it gets down to singularity, and it kind of kicked us out the ass end of a black hole, but we're just a much smaller version of something that was, say, a foot long.
But
like the super.
You know what? Things that aren't explained. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Doctor.
We could be a white hole instead of absorbing
a white hole, which basically just shows up on time as opposed to a black hole.
But can I ask this? Can I ask this? We fucking.
Oh, guys.
We know.
Yeah.
that the heart beats and what the heart does and what
Right.
but we
That's
don't
right.
know how we don't know what the motor is. There's no real beginning to the heart, or even this Big Bang Theory. To me, it's like there was a before the Big Bang Theory. There was a something before the Big Bang. Like the idea of nothingness doesn't register with me.
We
Like,
we can't wrap our minds around
Well, how to start with
nothing.
nothingness.
But then nothingness is something.
Right.
What's that, Dr. Kaku?
You think what happened before the Big Bang was that there was a multiverse. If our universe is a soap bubble that's expanding, that there could be other soap bubbles out there in a multiverse which looks like a bubble bath. And these bubbles fission, creating
like
baby
bubble
bubbles, which then expand, giving you the Big Bang Theory.
And
The
what's
countdown
in
take me away or something.
exactly,
Big
Chip.
Bangs could be happening all the time.
But what's in between? What's in between these?
Space.
What's that?
Beyond the bubble
Hyperspace?
is a higher dimension.
So it's basically space that is.
Big Bang
Oh,
expanding, but
You
then
talk.
people ask, what is the Big Bang expanding into? If the bubble is three-dimensional, then what it's expanding into is 4, 5, 6 dimensions.
Oh,
we
shit.
think up to 11 dimensions. So we think that in 11 dimensions, that is a true arena of the multiverse.
Wow.
And do you guarantee that the idea of aliens, that they're always smarter than us, could we possibly be the highest developed creature in the universe?
I find it very unlikely, given the fact that the Kepler satellite has now surveyed the galaxy. 1 out of every 200 stars apparently has an Earth-like planet going around it. And so I think that we can now calculate how many planets there are in the galaxy that are Earth-like. It's in the billions.
and that's only our galaxy.
But I'm saying, do you think we could be the smartest creature in the whole universe?
He's saying no.
That's almost
Very
impossible.
unlikely. In which case, other civilizations could be thousands, millions of years ahead of us, because the universe is 13.7 billion years old. So what's a million years out of 13.7 billion years?
Now, okay, that's the question. 13.7 billion years. What was the year before that? Do you understand? Like, that's what confuses me, that my mind can't get my head around, is the nothingness before the existence of the universe.
Right.
What's that? What do you think it was?
Our universe is probably connected by an umbilical cord to a parent universe. There was another universe that existed before our universe.
Jesus, that's a lot of time.
So 13.7.
Bubbles can peel off baby soap bubbles.
Now, you're saying 13.7, and they say that's a kind of a give or take, like a 40-year ratio.
Gotta go with the soap bubble.
I'm going
Plus or
soap
minus
bubble.
1%. We know the age of the universe to within 1% accuracy.
So you should celebrate its birthday or something, get a big hat.
Oh, Chip.
Dr. Kaku, is it possible that we're already connected to a higher life form?
Where? I mean, where would this higher
Exactly.
level-
Where?
I don't
What do
know
you
how the
mean?
connection would be, but from somewhere else where they're way more advanced than us and we're already connected to them in some way, but we
Connected in
just
what
don't
way?
know that. I don't know.
Like-
I'm not a physicist. I tell fucking dick jokes.
They gave us the ingredients to soap and then left.
Yes.
Dr. Kaku.
Somehow there's already a connection. We just don't. We're not smart enough on our level to even understand that yet.
Well, some physicists have said that maybe the aliens are already here, perhaps on the moon, just like in the movie 2001. They would send robots to explore the moons of the universe, because moons are quite stable, and they would essentially have listening posts. And so maybe on our moon there is evidence of a previous visitation, but we are about 100 years away from having the technology.
Everything's 100
to
years
find
away.
such a
It's like
probe.
when a contract
easy thing
says
to
2
say.
weeks.
Is it
Right.
possible, Dr. Kaku? Hi, this is Paul Hoggis. Is it possible that when you get like a really young universe, that like an older universe could go inside of it?
Well, yeah, in the sense that if our universe collapses into a big crunch, then maybe it'll disappear into another universe. However, the latest experimental data indicates that we're going to have a big freeze rather than a
Oh.
big
A Patrice?
No, big freeze.
Oh,
Wow.
put your mittens on.
That's crazy.
Hey, can we ask you about the 3D printers? We just learned about them a little bit
right.
in the last week or so. Where's this technology going?
Well, ultimately, maybe within 100 years.
Another 100 years? You can't say 100 years for everything.
it's gotta be about
I
100
think
years.
he's saying 100 years because he's going to be dead,
Right,
and
and-
he don't give a shit. So 100 is the same as a million. It don't give a
That
shit.
sounds
Yeah,
like
sounds good.
something. Yeah, they just.
They just say 100 years.
The goal of the 3D printer is to get a replicator, just like in
Yes.
Star Trek.
Right.
That's the goal. In fact, I had my face replicated in 3D by such a device for the Science Channel.
Sounds frightening.
Yeah, did you see it and go, hi, I'm me? Oh, hi. Oh.
Yeah, that's scary.
It took about 20 minutes to create a carbon copy of my face in 3 dimensions made out of plastic using a 3D printer. They scanned my face with a laser beam and then using plastic created a 3D image of my face.
George Lucas did that shit.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, industrial
And in
light
the
magic.
future, instead of using plastic, we'll use flesh.
About
Right,
100
do they-
years.
We can already put cells inside a laser printer, a dot matrix printer, and shoot out cells instead of ink,
So-
and create heart tissue this way.
That's
using a
crazy.
printer.
Is there-
How long
is
do
there
you
any-
how long do you think it'll take to get that technology where we can actually maybe use it?
Well,
say
the
100.
technology exists already by which we can create heart tissue. That's already been done at Wake Forest University in North Carolina.
So how long until we really
About
hell of a
100
school to
years,
go.
we'll
about
have
about 100 years?
Now,
real replicators like Star Trek.
do you
Yeah.
do you think, Dr. Kaku, it's possible? I've often
try that.
theorized this that
He did?
if once we learn how to bend space time and things of that nature and go through wormholes, is it possible once you can upload somebody on a computer, you could just zap them there and print them out? I think I asked you that, but it's not physically impossible that you could just a computer could see exactly.
In 100 years, motherfucker, he said that.
But then we could just zap a person, like just go.
Who's talking, by the way?
Jim Norton, Dr. Kaku.
Physics preventing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have yet to see a law of physics that prevents that capability.
Yeah. Yeah, see, you're a physics guy, so unless there's a law of physics that says something can't be done, you will assume that in time
It can be done.
it can be done.
Yes.
And that time would be probably about 100
And
years.
time travel is definitely not possible, right?
Yes.
No, there's a theory of time travel that's being looked at very seriously.
To go in the past or go into the future. I can't imagine you can go in the past. That has to be impossible.
There are hundreds of solutions of Einstein's equations which take you to the past. And if you have something called negative energy, then you could actually hold the gateway open.
So
long enough
basically,
to actually-
Patrice is a time traveling vessel. Because he said that you have negative energy.
Oh, you fucking douche.
That was a good one.
Now,
good one.
here's my last question. Absolutely my last question.
Yeah, we got to get
If
going.
if say you're the Tupac of physics, who's the Biggie of physics? Who's either your counterpart that you respect a lot, or your counterpart that you go, this guy is just
a hack.
ridiculous?
Bill Tetley.
Or like, who's the big kahuna out there?
Yeah,
Who,
it was
in your
Dr. Steve.
estimation, or if you're the big kahuna, say you. But who's the guy?
Yeah.
that I should Google to that either
the guy you look
or-
up to, like a
yeah.
Dr. Chipperson or.
In string theory, which is what I do for a living, one of the great engines of string theory that generates a lot of ideas is a guy named Ed Witten at the Institute for Advanced Study at Princeton, where Einstein worked. So he's a guy that likes to keep a low profile, but he's basically one of the big engines that drives the whole theory forward.
Is string theory looking like it's real, or is it? Some people say it's a bunch of bunk. Pardon my French.
No, we're in the process of testing the periphery of it with a Large Hadron Collider. Next year, it'll be zapped up to full power, and we'll be able to hopefully create sparticles. Sparticles are higher vibrations of the string. So the people who say that you cannot test string theory simply don't know anything about string theory.
If you see a string, like let's just say there's
silly.
string theory, is it possible to cut one of those strings in half?
Yeah, we think that ordinary atoms are made out of vibrating strings. Every time you split an atom, you're splitting a string.
So isn't a vibrating string made up of something smaller? If you can cut it in half, isn't there something that makes up a vibrating string which is smaller?
Yeah, but every time you cut a string, you get another string. So the unit of strings is the smallest you can get.
So if you cut Jim Norton in half, will both of those halves live? Like a mollusk?
Barely. I
Like a
think.
jellyfish.
Like some kind of...
Yeah. A slug.
All right. Hey, Dr. Kaku, what are we promoting today, sir?
The universe.
Well, I've just got off my book tour. Physics of the Future hit number 6 on the New York Times bestseller list.
Oh, congratulations. Happy ending to
congratulations.
number 4.
Ah.
A lot of people are curious about the future, and I've interviewed over 300 of the world's top scientists for that book.
Yeah.
So
one
a
of
lot
them.
of people want to know what's in the laboratory, what's being done that'll change their lives.
Who's your favorite comedian?
Favorite comedian?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I have one.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Fucking
Michael
laugh.
Richards.
The only laughing he does is when it's an uncomfortable moment. He kind of just goes.
You don't watch comedians there, Dr. Kaku?
We have a few on the show.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe the people on Uppy and Anthony.
Yes. Have you heard of
Oppie.
I love him.
Have you heard of Jim Norton?
Jim Norton?
Well, I have now.
There you go.
All right.
Hey, that's nice.
Well, next time,
Oh, maybe
you
next
see
time
him.
he'll recognize you.
You've met a few times.
Do you laugh at Stephen Hawking? When y'all meet up, you just go, look at you, stupid.
I can't hear. What was the question? I missed
It was a Stephen Hawking thing.
You just want to smack
feel-
his dumb straw out of his mouth?
Yeah, you feel sorry for him?
He's lost control over everything except his blinking muscles and his,
It's important.
facial muscles. Eventually, I think we may actually hook up an electrode to his brain directly and hook his brain to a computer. This has been suggested
It's
seriously.
just an experiment.
Oh, he's done. He's like done in terms of.
No, he's still blinking his shit out.
Yeah.
But I'm saying he's still.
He still
He's
blinks
still
his shit out.
thinking. He's still thinking as smart as he ever thought. His body
His
just went
brain-
kablooey.
His brain is very active, except that he has lost control over his muscles.
Yeah, he can't pop lock.
With stroke victims, we've already done that. We've already hooked up the brain of a stroke victim directly to a laptop. They can now surf the web.
It's great. Half the laptop works.
They can do emails, write emails, answer emails. They can do anything you can do on a computer, and they're totally paralyzed.
You can send an email to like Ethel@roar.com.
Yes. I think you could.
That's
Yeah.
fucked up what he
I
just
think, I
said.
think Stephen Hawking's brain is perfectly normal. His brain is
Sure.
just as
But he
active
has
as
no
ever.
more theories anymore. Like he can't because you can't.
How do you
get him
blink out a
There's
theory?
Sure
no.
he can.
He's blinking shit
No, he
still.
has theories, but there's no more that's going to be.
What if he's trying to blink out a number like 3,218,000, but he has to start over?
It's going to take a while.
No, it's a tremendous problem that he has. He can't use his hands to use a pencil to catch.
Jimmy can't either when he acts. It's
I
terrible.
know.
Shit.
Without using your hands, man.
Yeah.
It's like, oof.
Well, Dr. Kaku,
Thank you very much.
so much.
Yes.
For,
Always a pleasure,
always
sir.
a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Always very insightful. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Bye. We'll talk soon. Dr.
Oh,
Kaku.
hey.
Okay. Ah!
I was
I'll see him.
writing notes to Patrice. Jim has met Dr. Kaku.
I know,
They
yeah,
live in the same building. They've been
It's,
in the same elevator, and he's still.
And he goes,
Jimmy
He
says
goes,
hello
"Good
to
to
him
meet
all
you."
the time.
I don't mind. I'll see him, and I'll see him again, and he just gets frightened when you're like, "Hey, how are you?"
He goes, he's such a, he's a skittish.
It's weird to be. I can't imagine being so physically unimpressive that he just don't remember you
He
ever.
does not remember you.
And I know Norton.
That side of his
Norton-
brain just doesn't work.
Norton wants to believe that he does it with everybody, but he don't.
But does he not remember you either?
He doesn't
He-
remember.
I don't think he remembers ever being
Oppie,
on the
you
show.
at least you're Oppie.
No, I like
Well,
I like the
Oppie.
idea certainly, but I live right next to Jimmy, and I see him all the time, and I say, "Hey, Opie from Opie and Anthony," and he does this
Patrice-
clueless, weird thing and runs away.
Don't get
He's
mad at
not
me,
wrong.
asshole.
No. He's not wrong.
I like your theory, Patrice.
He's not wrong.
I would like to think that's what's going on.
I
here,
have
but-
met the same people 40 times who always put their hand out and introduce themselves. I really do not leave a lasting impression.
You know what? the way I would be flattered. He calls you Oppie, and
Oppie.
that's like Oppenheimer, who was,
Sure.
the
Great
father of
physicist.
the atomic bomb there. That's probably why he thinks Oppie instead of
Oh yeah,
Opie.
he does. He has no clue.
Opie would be silly.
He has no clue.
Norton just is not,
No.
said-
Hi,
like-
this is Jim Norton.
He said this is Jim
yeah.
Norton 4 times in
Yeah.
the same conversation, and there was no recognition.
On my tombstone, it's just going to say, "Here lies Jim Norton, remarkably forgettable."
Aw.
Yeah, because you see, he's saying Jim Norton, and he's talking about
is he here?
metaphysics and
Oh, okay.
metaphysics and everything.
I
and
met a
just-
physics too. I was like, "How you doing?" It said, "Hi, Chip."
Oh, you didn't.
Norton's just a living bowl of grits with no butter on it, no salt, nothing.
Yeah,
just-
your grits. Why don't you kiss my grits?
Fucking Kaku just doesn't pay me.
We got a break.
He's so poor he can't pay
We
attention.
have to at this point.
Oh
It's
shit!
not even
really?
a choice.
I'll just keep schooling you.
Big Mama Prods is in studio. That's Patrice O'Neill. Stress Factory this weekend, tonight and Saturday, or tomorrow, obviously. Tonight and tomorrow. 732-545-HA-HA. These tickets should sell out, right? So they should call ahead.
Yeah,
They should
Yeah, or
start
call
fucking
feet or
calling,
call
man.
hands if you're gonna call ahead.
Patrice O'Neill at the Stress Factory tonight and tomorrow. When we
What,
get
you gonna be all
back.
stressed
Vinny
out?
said hi, by the way.
What?
I'll tell you that. Vinny-
Fuck Vinny
Fuck him.
and his
Fuck him.
stupid chicken wings.
Fuck him. Fuck him.
He's got good food there, too, actually. He runs a nice joint.
Try.
Chris Cornell next. Stay there.
Hey.
We're waiting for Chris Cornell to enter the studio.
Traffic, right?
You stuck in traffic?
Is he?
I'm really psyched that he's doing some solo stuff. You're on.
Oh, maybe my thing's.
You're
Oh, okay, my thing.
You're
My
on.
headphones were off. It was like the old dream I have.
Does Dr. Kaku
Where an uncle is molesting me.
Does Dr. Kaku drive you nuts like he drives me nuts?
No, not at all.
Just that socially he's just not there.
I don't mind because his mind, it's not like he's thinking of nothing. What he's thinking of is so much more interesting on a real level than what we're thinking of.
Like you said, he's looking at pictures to figure out where time started, and we want to discuss maybe a Seinfeld episode with the guy.
But he understands that. Like, we could talk about it in theory, like dumbbells, but when he thinks about the universe being on a bubble and like Patrice's mind can't wrap around that, his mind can.
Right.
And he can think about like different dimensions. And he, like, I think like, wow, that's cool. But he really knows what that means. When you say it's on
What does he hear when he's listening to us talk back to him?
the sound you hear when your dog farts.
You think?
Yeah, of course.
I think it's like
So he's just being polite?
cicadas.
Yeah.
He hears cicadas.
He's being polite.
Yeah. But I mean, that guy Ed that he talked to, who he likes in Princeton, when he talks to him, he doesn't talk about like a bubble bath or cookie people.
No, it's,
Right.
it's very, yeah.
He calls him, and it's interesting to him to talk to Ed.
You think they just laugh over it? They have a good chuckle.
I don't know what makes them laugh. Oh, I had a sandwich today. It tasted like it came through the collider. They probably crack up.
Collider jokes.
How could that happen, right?